Place your bets, you jackwagons. Brad the Big Noise Evans here again on a solo mission. Lundy sends his apologies as he is eyeball deep right now in family activities. He had a travel issue late last week, so hopefully, fingers and toes crossed, we're going to have him back on the Thursday, #Tequila Thursday edition here of the Fade 5 podcast. But you want bets, you demand bets, and I give you the bets. Let's go on and hop aboard the Hong Kong Plus Bus. These are bets available at plus money or greater, that being plus 100 or greater there at the various sports books across the country. And how about let's go dancing into the end zone with Nico Collins? Oh, it should be a needy bet here. Hopefully it's going to cash in anytime touchdown at plus 135. Available there at BetMGM. Didn't do much of really anything in week one. And much like Jamar Chase, even losing Joe Burrow in that matchup on Sunday, could have a banner week numero dos and really bounce back and storm back with a vengeance. You look at the matchup, Tampa Bay, arguably one of the worst secondaries, at least forecast and projected to be entering the regular season. They're already after one game, number 31 in the NFL and pass EPA defense. You look at Nico Collins last season, dozen games that he saw action in. He scored 7 times, generating 13 total red zone targets. I had only one red zone target in week one. I do worry tremendously about the offensive line. A bunch of Casper, the friendly ghost up front for the Houston Texans. So hopefully they'll give CJ Stroud some pocket time and he can uncork down the field to a guy that has nuclear capabilities, and that being Nico Collins. So anytime touchdown at plus 135, I'm in at BetMGM. All right, with that bet on the board, it's time to get after it with a double dip edition of the Fade 5. All right, numero cinco here on the countdown. Let's get some more plus money on the board. Yes, we're going to do this in 2-leg parlay fashion. Honestly, don't need a whole lot of anything. Leg numero uno, give me Jalen Noel, the rookie out of Iowa State. I was like the 5th receiving option for the Houston Texans. All I need is one grab. And leg numero dos, give me Tyler Conklin, the tight end for the LA Chargers. I need double up, son. 2 grabs. Put those hands together. Plus 113. Built there at BetMGM. Hey, look at Jalen Noel. In the first game, he had 2 targets, that 1 catch for 7 yards. Only saw 30.2% of the overall snap. Only ran 13 routes. But all we need is one stinking grab. And usually he's going to get that in the short to intermediate field as he is more or less the backup slot option. Of course, Christian Kirk dinged up with that hamstring injury. So I think Jalen Noel, hopefully he's going to run anywhere between 10 to 15 routes in this game. He does that. I think he's going to snag at least a pass. And meanwhile, with Tyler Conklin to get 2 or more receptions, exactly what he had against KC in the opener south of the equator down there in Brazil. 2 targets, 2 receptions for 50 yards. Saw 20% of the overall target share, and a guy that ran a route on 27% of his snaps played. You look at what Las Vegas gave up in week one, the tight end position, 5 receptions for 26 yards, that being to Patriots. Plus size option. So Conklin, hopefully over the middle of the field, another high percentage throw coming off the hand of Justin Herbert. I believe he is going to grab at least a couple of passes. A clear weakness defensively for Vegas this season, I think, is going to be on the back end. So to recap, numero cinco on the Fade 5 countdown today. Little 2-leg parlay. Jalen Noel to get me a reception, and Tyler Conklin to get me those receptions, plus 113 at BetMGM. Numero cuatro today on the Fade 5 countdown. Let's get another prop on the board, and one not tied to the arm of Justin Herbert, though I'll have something bonus time in regards to that market. I'm talking about working those long legs. Do it for your lady, my man. Justin Herbert on the over 14.5 rush yards against Viva Las Vegas in Sin City at a minus 135 there at BetMGM. That is the best market right now among all the league of sports books that I have seen. Some of the books, it's as high as 16.5. I even saw one at 17.5. So that's why you have the heavier juice there at minus 135. But it's not pricing me remotely out of business. I think Herbert is going to be a busy man on the ground. He is someone who came out and said, hey, I need to run the ball more. And he said that way back earlier in the summer. And exactly was that dude in week 1 with the 7 carries for 32 yards against the Kansas City Chiefs. Vegas, they apply copious pressure. On week 1, they had the 13th highest pocket pressure rate, dialing up that heat on 18.9% of opponent dropbacks. Yes, Vegas is number 2 entering the night in rush EPA defense. And Drake May, mobile quarterback in his own right. Yeah, he had the 4 rush attempts last week, but only 11 rushing yards. Still, I think Herbert, with all the field stretchers he has on this team, will see an opportunity, read, react, and run, son, run. Hopefully to at least 15 yards. He does that. We cash in at number 4 here on the countdown. Numero tres here on the Fade 5, a Monday Night Football edition. Let's have a lend down under on a player prop tied to a guy you may not remotely be thinking about. Yes, and there is a market available on him at a number of books. The best number, if you want to take the under, is available here at DraftKings at a minus 115. That is Deontay Thornton under 26.5 receiving yards against those Chargers. You might think to yourself, hey, he's a big play receiver. That is the name of his game. And yeah, he could, sink this ticket. I could be rolling and smoking it on one pass reception because that's generally his MO, a guy that loves to play down the sidelines to some of those streak routes, those go routes, and those explosive pass plays, which he connected with Geno Smith not once but twice, over 40 yards in the opener last week. But it's a different animal in terms of defense that the Raiders are going to be facing. The Chargers, number 26, not the greatest there in dropback EPAD entering the night, but Dante Jackson is arguably their strongest link in that defensive backfield after 1 week of play. He's number 11, and pass coverage grade as tracked there at Pro Football Focus only allowed 33.3% catch rate and under a 43 passer rating to his assignments in week 1, only 4.5 yards per catch as well. You look at Thornton, ran 21 routes in the opener, was number 2 in average depth of target at 25.0. And again, went well north of 40 yards, but only saw 12.1% of the overall team target share. So I think, this is going to be challenged. I think there is going to be an uncorking or two thrown by Geno Smith in Thornton's general direction. I just pray that Dante Jackson swats the ball out of the way and we make some dollars in the process on that under 26.5 receiving yards. And tonight's Monday Night Double Dip at a minus 115 there at DraftKings Sportsbook. Hey, you want more bets? We give you more bets. Go to thegamingjuice.com right now, you jackwagons, and sign up for a free account. You can ask me a question, whether fantasy or sports betting related. Just click Ask Brad. You'll see there at the top of your screen. That is a slow forum, if you will, slow chat that I jump in and respond to questions at my convenience. Usually get answers to you within 24 hours. I already have the week 3 fantasy forum open for business. My fantasy football ranks also available right now already for week 3, at least the initial version, the 1.0 version. I'll be tweaking those throughout the entire week. Got to be rolling out my fantasy flames, the quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. Top props, which was profitable this week. We'll be making a comeback. We'll have some Thursday night primetime prop thoughts as well. Our college football forecast. So Matt Fortuna, Ben Wittenstein, Nate Jacobson. That's going to go live on Thursday. And there might be a small game being played in Bloomington, Indiana between the Hoosiers and the ILL. They're going to give you all those thoughts. Get it all at thegamingjuice.com. Sign up today. Click converse and cash, .. maybe. All right, numero dos here on the Fade 5 countdown. Let's go back to that Texans and Buccaneers matchup. And I say, yeah, shiver me timbers for the rookie from the Ohio State. Again, I have to say that for copyright purposes. Emeka Egbuka. Give me the over on 4.5 receptions against those Texans at a minus 105. So lighter juice, far more appealing, available there at BetMGM. Absolutely love this prop. I think it's going to be 5 grabs on the nose. We're going to be sweating and pulling up in all the wrong places, probably late in this game, praying this comes through, praying that Baker Mayfield finds some of the open field and accurately. Yes, that I can guarantee you. Betalytics, Rachel Kryshek, my buddy there, has got him projected for north of this number, 4.69. Nice. According to her very powerful algorithm, Egbuka was a busy dude. We saw the cannonball splash he made in week 1 against the ATL. 6 targets, 4 receptions. So Captain Hook did come into play there. 67 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Played 94.7% of the snaps. Again, no Chris Godwin in uniform in this one. And obviously, that means Egbuka's going to see a ton of time in the slot. He can line up outside. He can run every route in the tree and plays very comfortably wherever he does line up. He had a 148.3 passer rating when targeted in week 1. And you look at Houston, number 13 in pass EPAD after a week. But most importantly, he's projected to see a ton of Derek Stingley in coverage. Why is that a plus? Well, in week number 1, he had the third worst coverage grade of any defensive back in the NFL, giving up 71.4% catch rate. So I'm hoping that Houston's going to be competitive in this game, or maybe just wallop the Buccaneers. So Egbuka is forced into catch-up mode, but I think he'll get enough of the overall volume playing alongside my cousin, Mike Evans. Give me the over. Numero dos here in the countdown. Emeka Egbuka, 4.5 receptions in H-Town, minus 105. Available there at BetMGM. Numero uno on today's Fade 5 countdown. Let's go ahead and live in the Hamptons, baby. Living high on the hog, and I am doing this at plus money, and I will be doing exactly that. The top shelf tequila bottle, por favor. Pour that Class A Azul, bartender. If this one comes through, Omarion Hampton, give me the over. 15 plus rush attempts. So 15 or more rush attempts in Vegas, plus 110. Book this there at ESPN Bet. Look, Najee Harris is an afterthought, and I'm going to have a bet on him at bonus time here in a minute as well. Omarion Hampton, you saw in week 1, I think that's going to be the story really pretty much the entire season. Yes, the surface numbers weren't the greatest against a rather stingy and stout and stiff front line of the Kansas City Chiefs, but he had 84.5% of the team's opportunity share. He was number 4 in terms of that was a total red zone touches that he had. Number 14 in total yak, forced 3 missed tackles, number 22 in yards created per touch. So the advanced metrics tell an entirely different story from just the subpar production he had there on the surface. He had 15 balls of belly in the opener, and you look at Vegas, yes, they enter the night at numero dos in rush EPA defense, and they only allow 3.46 yards per carry to New England rushers in the opener. But I feel Omarion Hampton, yeah, he gets to at least 15 rush yards in Sin City, achieves that plus 110, available there at BetMGM. And of course, you want some bonus time. Being an ambassador of people I aim to serve. So let's go ahead and try out our Team Huevos parlay play here on Monday night. Now let's do a cross game parlay option. So a little two-legger. Leg numero uno, Nico Collins, 50 or more receiving yards. And leg numero dos, Ashton Genty, anytime touchdown. Yeah, cross that chalk. Be a bloodhound, my man. Plus 116 built there at BetMGM. I think this is entirely doable. You look at Nico Collins, Rachel Kryshak at Betalytics has him projected for a very handsome 76.6 yards in this game. And again, all I need is 50, and that first leg cashes. This could happen, quite frankly, in the first half in the action tonight. Why, as I already mentioned, Tampa has got one of the friendliest secondaries in the NFL. They enter the night second to last in drop back EPA defense, and Collins got to get a lot of Jamel Dean. I feel in coverage. He was outside the top 50 and pass coverage grade there in week one. I know Collins had a very uneventful opener with the 5 targets, 3 catches, 25 yards, no touchdown, only a 7 flat average depth of target. That's not really his game. He was only number 59 as well in catchable target rate. But again, if Stroud is protected, if he has a relatively clean jersey, Nico Collins is going to eat, folks. So grab a plate and pile up the extra scoop of the mashed potatoes on it and dig in, baby. I think Nico's going to get to at least a 50-yard mark tonight. And then leg number dos, Ashton Jeanty in the anytime touchdown market. Very healthy, 87.5% of the Raiders' opportunity share in the opener. Of course, a guy that found the end zone, a couple of red zone totes a week ago. Yeah, the advanced analytics, not the greatest. 2.32 yards after contact per attempt, but he did force 4 missed tackles, so showing that shimmy and shake. The Chargers, they only allowed 4.10 yards per carry to Kansas City backs in week one, but they were number 25 in rush EPA defense. So I think when the Raiders are knocking at the door of Splash and Six, who's going to get that opportunity? But the pride of Boise State, really the banger of Boise, that being the rookie Ashton Jeanty. So to recap the Team Huevos parlay play tonight on the Monday Night Double Dip. Nico Collins, 50-plus receiving yards. Ashton Jeanty, anytime touchdown. You smooch those together. Oh, cool. Plus 116 available there at BetMGM. Elsewhere in bonus time. All right, let's fire off a couple other quick bets here, folks. Najee Harris, I already promised. I'm going to pay it forward now. I bet the under on 18.5 rush yards. Man, just even like last year, what a minuscule number that is. But how much work is he really going to get? He's still being eased in after the extensive time off due to, you're going to shoot your eye out, kid, that fireworks accident on the 4th of July. In week one, only played 19% of the snaps, had 1 lousy carry for 5 yards. Okay, appreciable, great. He might get like triple the work tonight. So it's like 3 carries. Maybe he gets 5 a pop there. That's, let's see, that's 15. That's still south of the 18.5 I already laid out. Yes, the Chargers had some shortcomings in week one in terms of the EPA data, but again, it's a 1-game sample size. They only give a 4.1 yards per carry. And you look at Kareem Hunt, I think it's going to be kind of a similar situation. Kareem Hunt finished with 5 carries, 16 yards. He's behind a makeshift and rickety offensive line. Though I do like Omarion Hampton to get past the threshold needed in rush attempts. I don't feel great about the yards, and I certainly don't feel great about the yards on a minuscule workload for one Najee Harris. Again, I'm taking the under an 18.5 rush yards, minus 115 there at DraftKings. Also taking the under on Bucky Irving rush attempts. That at 16.5 at a minus 120 at BetMGM. Houston's got a very stingy and outstanding defensive line. They will be challenged on occasion, though they are number 8 in rush EPAD entering the night. Kyron Williams went for 18 ground attempts in the opener against the Texans. But I don't think Bucky gets a similar workload. I think it's going to be close. I think Captain Hook certainly could come into play here. It could be 16 in the bitter end. He went over this number 7 times, and he did those in games in which he had at least 50% of the snap share that he played in those 7 games. He only went over 3 times in those 50% or greater games in which he played last season. Again, 7 in total. And you look as well, 81.8% opportunity share in week one, although he only had 14 rush attempts. Again, I think it's going to be 15 or 16 in the end. Give me the under. Bucky Irving, 16.5 rush attempts, minus 120 there at BetMGM. 2 more quickies. Sterling Shepard, give me the over on 19.5 receiving yards at a minus 115. Also at BetMGM, he was an active receiver in week one. Line up in the slot over 45% of the time, ran 26 routes. That was 78.8% of his overall snap share, 14.3 ADOT, was targeted 3 times, caught 3 passes for 39 yards. That was 20% of the team's target share, and he's going to get some Petray and coverage. The safety usually mans the slot. He was number 94 in pass coverage grade in week 1. So premium matchup as Petray gave up 21.5% yard or 21.5 yards per catch is what I should say in week 1. So I like Sterling Shepard to get to at least 20 receiving yards. And last, let's get some more plus money out there. Simple 2-leg parlay. Give me the under on Baker Mayfield on 228.5 pass yards. And give me Justin Herbert, 225 plus pass yards. You smush those two together. Oh, yeah, they kiss. Isn't that adorable? Plus 151 there at ESPN Bet, especially like the Herbert one. But I have a feeling we're going to be sweating out Baker and that under 228.5 passing yards. All right, I'm out of breath and out of time here on the Fade 5 podcast. Do me a favor, would you kindly drop me a rating and a review at your convenience. Also, Fade or follow us. You can check out Lundy on X at Nate Lundy and yours truly at Noisy Huevos. Also, listen to BetMGM tonight. Myself, Ryan Horvat, 4 hours of sports betting and fantasy football goodness. We're going to be sweating out all of the action live. May fire out some live dimes as well. We're going to talk a little waiver wire for you fantasy footballers out there, and even look ahead of some bets in college football week numero cuatro. So tune in to BetMGM tonight. You can stream it right on my site, thegamingjuice.com, or listen via traditional methods on Odyssey and iHeart stations nationwide. All right, I got to bow out. And as always, until next time, feed or follow. That is up to you. Don't suck again, Nico.